Good morning, everyone. It is day 2 of the 4-day challenge for August. And we are talking this month about goals for Q4 and activity trackers, activity planning, and those things that you can control. So I'm going to wait here just a couple of minutes and see if we get some more people on. And if you want to join us live, click on the Zoom link in the Facebook page, and then you'll be able to join us and ask questions and participate and all those fun things that we want you to do to get engaged and to grow and scale your business. So it is Wednesday already, the 16th, 17th of August. My goodness, time is flying really fast. I am going to go ahead and share my screen just so we can be ready to talk about activity today. We're going to talk about weekly activity goals and what kind of outreach you should be thinking about and what might be holding you back from being consistent with your outreach and all those things that are going to be busted through this 4-day challenge and help you overcome any fears. Or for me personally, I've had times where I was real consistent and saw my business just explode. And then I got so busy that I stopped doing the things that it took to get me that busy. So I want to talk today. And I know when Melanie jumps on here, we'll be talking about keeping the consistency, because the reality is it's harder to rebuild momentum than it is to get momentum in the first place. So today, again, we're going to be talking about weekly activity and how that supports your goals for your quarter, and then how you can use this in coaching your team members. If you are a sales leader, if you're in any industry where you are leading other salespeople, there's a responsibility for you to help them be successful. And one thing we know is numbers don't lie. So when we are coaching our team members, rather than get caught up in excuses and get caught up in personality, we can focus on the things that we can control, which is our activity. And that's what they can control too. So when you have your coaching sessions with your sales associates, understanding what it is that they truly want, understanding what it is that motivates them, and why they're doing what they're doing. In other words, why are they in sales with your company or with your team? What is it that they really value? Because we can use that knowledge to help them stay on track and get that consistency that we all want to have. That's what really makes our businesses explode. So I'm going to check Facebook real quick here, see if I've got anybody who's kind of lost. Jumping on here. Nope, don't see anything. Got to go to the pages. Yikes. Hold on. Wrong group. I'm in my other business page. So let's go to our groups and see who's there. If you haven't downloaded the weekly activity goals and tracker sheet, I really encourage you to do this. Make as many copies as you want to. Feel free to tweak this. This is a PDF, but if you want the doc file, I'd be happy to provide that as well, so that you can get in and make your own sheets, or put in specifics for yourself. I just print these out. Again, I believe in keeping it simple, and so what I typically do is print these out, one per week, because as you can see, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you are doing outreach on the weekends, feel free to add those days. However, I'm a huge believer in reserving a couple of days a week to not be in the activities of sales and sales pipeline driving, because we really do need to pull in and focus on rest and rejuvenating ourselves and just keeping our head in the game by allowing ourselves to have that downtime. So when we talk about weekly goals, here's what I've always said. Pick a number. Pick a number that you are comfortable with, that you are going to do come hell or high water, or heck or high water, however you want to say it. And if you know the ratios that we talked about yesterday, as in how many contacts does it take me to get to a decision maker or the person that can say yes. So outreach is my cold calls, it is my phone calls, it's my email, it is all the things that are those initial outreach to reach a decision maker. If you're B2B, if you're B2C, business to consumer, it is how many contacts, whether that be, maybe DMs or getting referrals. Outreach is about referrals too, because we know those go faster and have a higher percentage of the time that you're going to close something with that. Then contacts. This is how many times did I actually reach the person I was trying to get a hold of. So if your goal is to reach 5 decision makers in a day, and you know that it takes you 5 contacts to reach 1 decision maker, then my ratio is 5 to 1. So I know that if I want to reach 5 decision makers, that I've got to make 25 contacts. I've got to do, outreaches. And then if I want to schedule an appointment a day, I need to have meetings or have those contacts with those decision makers. If I'm 3 to 1, for every 3 decision makers that I actually come into contact with, I'm going to schedule an appointment with one of them. Then if I want 1 a day, then really back here I'm at 3. So if I'm shooting for 5, I'm going to probably maybe schedule 2. And then you're going to track what actually happened. So if my daily goal is 25 for outreach, I am going to write down here how many actual calls I made. And call is whatever type of outreach you're doing, whether it's a cold call, it's a warm lead, it is email, it is phone calls, it is walking in a door. If it's going to a networking event and you're actually doing the networking work, then you can count that in your outreach. And then how many actual contacts did I make? So if I had the opportunity to be in front of 25 different people and I only was able to get to 1 decision maker, even though my daily goal is 5, then I'm going to have to start taking a look at that. Maybe it was just a bad day. So we don't base our coaching of others and self-coaching on 1 day. We have to have a little bit more information so that we can look at our averages. And then if my daily goal for appointments scheduled is 1 or 2, but I only got 1 or 0, that's what I'm going to write in there, because it doesn't help us if we're not being completely honest with ourselves. And it doesn't help us coach if our sales teams are not being completely honest with themselves and with us, because we want to coach to numbers. We want to coach to ratios, and we want to track the things that are related to a skill set that we can build. So that is weekly contacts. Today's call is going to be kind of short because really getting into the meat of setting appointments comes from our activity. And when we are controlling our activity and we are in the process of gathering information and being committed to a number and being consistent with that number. It doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's a product or a service. It is the consistency and the commitment to hit a number every single day that is going to drive you forward, and it's going to explode your opportunities. Again, be honest with yourself. If you are coaching and leading a sales team, help your people understand why it is so critical for them. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me, including me. I need to understand, why should I be tracking this? What difference does it make? I need to just go out and sell, right? No, that is a really hard way to do sales. A smart way to do sales is to track your activities that lead to sales. So the sales cycle has different pieces, right? We all know this. There's the outreach, then there's the contact when we get to that decision maker, and then there's having the appointment that leads to an opportunity to actually sell something. And when we're value-based selling, we're value-driven selling, and we're relationship-based and having that consultative approach in our selling appointments, then we have the biggest opportunity to make a sale that is a value to the client. We can't be out selling because we need money. Of course, we all need money, but when we are in the market and we are desperate to make a sell, it comes through. People feel it. In fact, my experience is the times when I've had the most appointments on the books are the times I've also had an easier time getting more appointments, because I was booked out so far with appointments. I was just, okay, I know something's going to happen here. As my friend Regina Schrader, who I'm not sure she's in this group yet or not, but she always said, if you put enough biscuits in the pipe, something's going to come out the other end. Now, that's a pretty cool analogy, I think. But it is part of the sales funnel. You have to put things in the funnel for things to come out the other end. So we want to be smart in our activities, and we want to track activities that will help us grow our sales, and for those of us that are leading teams, for us to be able to coach our sales teams into smart selling practices. And this is a duplicatable effort. And as a sales team leader, you cannot train your personality into your salespeople, but you can certainly train in consistency and transferable skills. Like, how do I get past the gatekeeper? How do I overcome objections? How do I get that decision maker to meet with me? How do I do the process of consultative selling? What are the questions I need to be asking? And then how do I help this potential client see that our solution is the answer for them? Those are all transferable. And we want to make it as simple as possible to be transferable, because eventually we want our salespeople to become sales leaders, right? And if we can design simple systems that get results, then anyone can do it. And when it comes to sales, I had a sales leader in Aflac, and he always said, the biggest army wins. And so if I'm going to be out growing a sales team, I need to have at my disposal and ways to coach that are simple for not just me, but for my sales team to understand and to execute. The more simple it is, the more I can get done. And the more simple it is, the better conversations and the better coaching I can do as a sales leader. And remember, when you are coaching your sales team, your rising stars are going to be mimicking you. So make it easy for them to coach people they're bringing into your organization. So if you're in direct sales, there's lots and lots of levels, and you want to create less work for yourself and just be building a team where you're only focusing on your new sales leaders. In other industries where you are responsible for recruiting, or at least helping to recruit to your teams, you want to make something simple, transferable, and easy for your sales teams to grasp. Because we want them to stay around long enough to get the kind of results that'll keep them in the business. Melanie, you have anything to add here? Good morning, by the way. Oh,
Good morning. Oh, my little computer here. Okay, so I just have to say, Andrea, you asked me for the Zoom link last night. On my phone, I can find it, but when I went to the group under the events, I couldn't find the link.
no.
So I took out of the Scale launch page, if you guys were in the chat, in the launch page, I put the Zoom link in there, but I just put it in the feed for the Scale for Women group, because if you are struggling with trying to find that link, I could find it on my phone fine, but I couldn't find it in the group.
Oh my goodness.
So I apologize for being late, but I was like, I don't know. So I know we've been trying to set things up. So if you guys are struggling with that, we apologize. We want to make this easy for you to hop on
here. I am talking about, we need to make this easy, duplicatable, transferable.
Oh, I'm like, Shelly's going to kill me. And I was like, I can't text you because you're in the middle of teaching. I could see it, but I couldn't get the link. So I apologize. But yes, Shelly, this is powerful. Simple is powerful, right? It's the consistency. What we build consistently is where we get really the confidence. And because if we look at this, and some of us, right, may be looking at this and go, this is already overwhelming. Like if I had to be accountable to this every single day, man,
already overwhelming.
Oops, I would be accountable. Right. And sometimes that's a dose of reality. Like if you have a difficult time feeling something like this out and saying every single day you have to get up and look at this first, this is where you really need to, just gain that confidence and create a consistent pattern. And that's what gets you going. Because I jumped on here when you were talking about, feeling like you have to show up just to kind of spray and pray, as I would teach my medical sales reps. You don't want to do that. You don't ever want to do that. And if you feel like you're getting into that groove of, well, if I just go talk to 10 more customers, right? Sometimes it's the mindset that you have when you do that. If you give yourself a goal and say, I want to speak to, let's just take 10. I want to speak to 10 customers today. And so maybe those customers look different. And I don't know if you've touched on this at all yet, Shelly, but I think, targeting the type of customer that you want to talk to gives you that momentum as well. You know what the expectations are. Is this just an initial call? Are you just introducing yourself? Or is this more of a deep dive, sit down, have an appointment, be, as John Maxwell says, prepare for the meeting and prepare for that meeting and prepare for that meeting, right? It's the meeting before the meeting before the meeting. What are your expectations out of these appointments? So I think that goes back to what kind of an appointment is it? How many of each of those kinds of appointments am I going to have every day? And really digging down into how much time and energy am I going to take before the appointment? If it's just a meet and greet, you can do more of those. Right? You can do more of those cold calls. But if you've really got to have content and you really have to kind of move it to the next level, really think about the time and the strategy behind what you want to accomplish in those calls. Or you know what? Nothing gets accomplished.
Mhm. And this is, this sheet can be used in so many ways. The bottom line is having a daily number and doing it.
Mhm.
So, like Melanie's saying, of course, you're going to be at different stages in the sales cycle with different prospects. And so, my outreach daily goal may include both new contacts and follow ups. It may include networking, but I'm going to have a daily goal of people I'm going to reach out to, whether that be in person, virtually, over the phone, at an event. And then how many people do I contacts is about decision makers.
Mhm.
And it's great, I loved meeting gatekeepers and winning them over to my side to get to the decision maker. But the reality is they can't say yes. They're taught to only say no to keep you away from the decision maker. So gatekeepers don't count in contacts. It is the decision maker that makes the decision. I love this. And I believe this is attributed to Eleanor Roosevelt, but I love this quote. Never accept a no from someone who can't tell you yes.
Mm.
I love it. And I'm about gamification.
Mm.
I love to have fun. I love to make things fun. And from the mindset perspective, it gives me that extra little oomph to get to my number.
Mhm.
So if I know that it takes me, and I'm going to use Aflac as my example because that's my most recent, like super duper sales uh, experience. I mean, not that I don't go out and sell my services today, coaching, training, speaking, but from the dynamic of this conversation, I think it helps to put some parameters around it. So when I was a district manager with Aflac and coaching large teams, leading large teams, building teams, I knew the law of large numbers. If I was out there truly working on improving my skill sets in making a contact, overcoming objections, scheduling appointments, doing the consultative selling appointment, and then that would lead me to closing an account or closing a deal, where then that put me in front of the employees so that I could start the process over again, but with the employees instead of the business owner. I knew that I could not get 100 no's in a row, because let me tell you, I tried. And so I would tell my new associates, I think I said this yesterday, if you can get 100 no's in a row, I will give you $100 bill. And in 17 years in Aflac, I never paid out the $100. And contesting and rewarding yourself.
Mhm.
If you're a solopreneur out there doing your thing in sales, or even if you are part of a team and you're not the sales team leader, oh my goodness, part of your weekly goals should be a reward for meeting them. And that reward could be anything from a pedicure or a manicure to maybe it's taking a couple hours by yourself and going and sitting in a theater with a thing of popcorn and your favorite drink and watching a movie by yourself without any distractions or people wanting your attention. Maybe it's going on a little window shopping spree. But give yourself permission and rewards for hitting your own weekly activity goals. And then as we get into this a little further and start getting into, okay, I'm hitting my monthly goals, I'm hitting my quarterly goals, setting up a reward system. And one of my best pieces of advice, if you have children, involve them in your weekly goals. Involve them in the reward. Give them a reward when mom hits her weekly activity goals, because they will become your biggest cheerleader and they will be pushing you out the door. If they know mom hits her goals, Saturday we're going for ice cream at our favorite ice cream place. Mine's Pink Walrus. I love their frozen yogurt. So, when I started my sales career with Aflac, and I had been selling way before that, but when I started with Aflac, I had a poster board and we made my activity goals for the month on there. And then when I would get home and my kids would get home from school, when the boys did, Tori was just a baby, then they were like, Mom, did you hit it? Did you hit it? Let's mark it. So we made a game out of marking off my weekly goals, put the big check mark in there today. And at the end of the week, we all got the reward. At the end of the month, we got a reward. At the end of the quarter, the goal was bigger and so was the reward. But my boys literally every day, because they knew they were going to get something out of this too. So I super duper encourage you, involve your family. They are what, in my opinion, are going to make or break you. If you have kids at home, if you have a spouse, they have to be on board, because sales is hard. It's hard on us emotionally when we get told no. And that's another reason why this weekly activity and goal tracker is really important. It keeps it in front of you every single day of what you have committed to yourself to do. What do you think, Mel? Oops, you're muted.
Yeah, I think you have to have accountability. It all comes back to what you design for yourself. And you really have to structure this. And I'll just say this from an unstructured person, because I am like the most unstructured person you will ever meet. Yet I have found success with structured systems. And so I know that's what drives me. As a challenger, it can be really hard because I know the things that I fear are the things that really create the momentum for me. And so I just encourage you, if you struggle with this like I did in the beginning, once you see that momentum, and you're afraid like, do I really have to do this again every day? It is the lesson of consistency that creates the momentum to give you that confidence and the courage to look at that as a blank kind of canvas, if you will, and have that opportunity to really give the freedom, right, to impress yourself. See if you can do it. Challenge yourself. Can I really set this goal? And can I make this happen? And the thing is, Shelley, you've said this a million times, and I'm a testimony to it. Once you do this and you really start putting structure around it, your business explodes. It explodes. So, whatever stage you're in, just try to add one level to that this week in this challenge, just one more level, so that you can get a little bit more sharper, right? Sharpen those skills.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know, Melanie, about you. I mean, I don't feel like today we need to go for an hour. If this is pretty straightforward stuff right here.
Mhm.
And what I would really love to see is, either for those that are watching on Facebook or when you watch the replay, put in the comments what you're willing to commit to
Mhm.
for a weekly activity goals, and let us help each other to be accountable. And I promise you, if you make the commitment to a number and you do that number every single day, in 30 days, your calendar is going to be much more full. In 60 days, because you're always going to be always booking out, starting out probably 2 weeks, and then eventually 30 days out, and then eventually 45 days out, and then eventually 60 days out. When you get to the point where your calendar has something in it every week for the next 3 to 4 months, you will not be able to leave your sales job. Because you have too much stuff sitting out there.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
And
it
but
consistent.
here it's about customers, right? It's about adding value to people. So it's really not about it is about your goals. But if you think about the reason that you're doing it, the why, which is we're going to talk about a lot in our conference, Shelley, is why you show up to serve. If you're in this group, you know that you want to serve people. And so if you understand your approach to that, what fuels you, what drives you first to show up, that kind of like identifies the right process for you. Because if you if you're not a challenger like Shelley and I, we thrive on creating. We just want to show up and find out what your problem is. We want to create a solution for it immediately. You may not be like us, and that's okay, because actually Shelley and I approach things a lot differently, even though we're both
Mhm.
challengers. So we want to help you find that sweet spot where you can use these tools and then be the most effective. Because, time is money.
It is. And I would add, and one of the things that I said to my team a lot is, I don't e- I don't care if you're here to help people or to make money. If you're here to help people, help a lot of people. And the byproduct is you're going to make money. If you're here to make money, you have to help people
Yeah.
in order to do that. So, it doesn't matter which direction you're coming at this from. There are some foundational things you have to do to build a sales-based business.
Mhm.
And I don't care if that is a brick and mortar. If you have a store on Main Street, you still need to be figuring out ways that you can control activity that will drive sales. And as a person who owned a brick and mortar service business, we did outreach. We did networking. Now with products, I would love to have somebody in the group chime in somehow on what you do with a product-based business like retail to drive activity, because that's the only thing we can control.
Mhm.
If we just open our door at 9 a.m. and close it at 7 p.m., we are leaving things out to fate. We can't do that. In order to succeed in a business, you have to be able to get people in your door. And you can control the activity to an extent to do that through your advertising, obviously through your marketing, but guess what? Also through your community involvement, because people like to do business with people that they know and trust. And when you're involved in your community, you are showing everyone who you are,
Mhm.
whether that's chamber work, other associations. If you're a person who belongs to a church, synagogue, whatever that is, temple, if you're involved, people get to know you on a personal level and who you are. What is your character? What is your integrity like? And they will help sell you, which makes it easier when you're out doing your outreach.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, I could go on and on, I know.
Well, it all starts with us though, right? That's the
Yes.
whole crux of all of this. It starts with our heart to serve, and then how do we want to do it? We're all going to do it different ways. Yet
Mhm.
when you take that action, you start with a plan every single day. You look at this kind of a sheet. whatever that looks like for you. These are just tools to help you, and how you keep yourself accountable, and then show up, take the action. Nothing happens without action. So when you get out and you make that connection, you make that phone call, you stop by that one client that you've really wanted to see, but you can't get into. I want to just kind of add this, Shelley. There are so many creative ways to get past that gatekeeper.
Oh, yeah.
And I think maybe we should do a breakout on that sometime, because that's kind of fun. If you may not approach it that way, or you may not be comfortable with your product. When you know your product better than anybody else, you can find really creative ways to add value, to ask the right questions, to get the right solutions, to make the impact, to create that energy, then other people that are selling the same thing can't do.
Oh,
Because
my goodness.
you've
That
connected
is
to their
so
heart,
true.
It
That
is.
is so true. And I go back, I mean, if you don't know the acronym WIFM, WIIFM, that stands for What's in it for me. And so we, as a salesperson, as a sales leader, as a business owner, we're here to serve, but who we're talking to wants to know what's in it for them. Why should I take my time to meet with you? Why should I allow you through to get to the decision maker, whether it's the business owner, the CEO, whatever, CFO, whoever you're trying to meet with? Why should I allow that to happen? And you're exactly right. I mean, we probably should do a little workshop just on how to get past the gatekeeper, and then do one on overcoming common objections. Because the reality is there's only about 5 common objections. I don't care what industry or what you're selling.
I worked with a company, and I say this all the time. If you guys attended my live event in December, Ignite Selling created such value in the sales industry, because they took a very simple worksheet, some questions, and some processes. And I think we should share that. I've developed my own process from it. Yet it is, if you're having trouble establishing your value, how you look differently than everybody else that does the same thing that you do, this will help you.
Yeah,
I think we should do something like that, Shelley.
we should, because, and I have processes too. I mean, I've spent years developing not only my own skill set, but teaching it, because I personally, because of my personality style and because of just, being really outgoing, and, my strengths finder, my number one strength is woo, winning over others, and I'm a challenger, and I'm a high I and disc. And so I have a personality style that makes me pretty fearless when it comes to, if I'm doing something I really believe in, I'm, boom, I'm there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to make it happen. And then I'm like you as well. I know you're like that, Melanie. That's why I'm saying that. But I can't teach my personality. And the reality is, we need every personality style in a sales organization, because we need to have that breadth of relationship building and being relatable to as many types of customers as possible. Oh my gosh. I could go on and on. I am going to, you're going to have to help me here, because I need to switch over host to you, because I'm going to have to leave here in about 4 minutes.
Yes. Go right ahead. Just
So, I see. Help me.
take the participant, just go into the
Oh,
participants. Yep.
okay.
And then just add me as the host.
Make host.
Yep.
Yay.
And then I have to
Everybody.
accept that. I am the host now. Perfect. So yes. But Shelley, you are kicking off something really exciting today. You want to share that?
Yes.
It's awesome.
So I was referred. Yes, I was referred to by a by a person I did a DISC lunch and learn for, to the executive director of the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce here in Indiana. I'm sorry, for their Economic Development Council. And so they have restarted their Carroll County Leadership Program after a 7-year hiatus. And today is their first session, their kickoff session for their leadership program. And I get to go have a lot of fun with them and help them to understand themselves and others better, how to communicate more clearly with DISC. Yes, with the Maxwell method of DISC. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. There's 17 in this cohort, their first class back after 7 years. And I am already, I've got all my games ready to go to help them to really anchor in the learning, have done the debriefs with everybody, and just really excited to help them kick off their leadership program.
Yay. Well, you're going to be fabulous and have an awesome day. I know that you always add value to everybody that you meet, and they are really lucky to have you today.
Oh, thank you. I know. And you're going to be Think Decembers, right?
Yes, I'm doing the whole why process in December. I'm super excited about that.
Wow.
So we tag team on a lot of stuff. I want to say something real quick before you go, Shelley, because our strength finders are different, right? I think we have a couple of the same. And so here's the thing, right? When you start to take all of these assessments and you say, oh, well, I'm like this, or I'm different, or I have a little, I have a different strategy mindset. That's what we're going to talk about at our live event. How mindset, your why, how you communicate, that is your unique gift to show up and be who you are. No matter if all the world was selling the same thing, people hear you as you are, your confidence level. That's what this is about, giving you structure and strategy behind it, because we could all thrive. We could all be selling the same exact thing, and yet we would have completely different customers. So
yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, it's just, and we bring value to them in different ways. So,
and it is so, that part of that mindset is abundance. And when we have an abundance mentality and an abundance mindset coupled with a growth mindset, that's why Melanie and I are able to collaborate, do joint ventures, and just really encourage and uplift and celebrate one another, as well as all of you. There's quite a few coaches in our group now, and I celebrate every time you get a new client. Even if you're in my backyard, that's okay, because I know there's so much need for what I do, what you sell, that there's plenty for everybody. There's more than enough for everybody. And I can't be everything for everybody, but I can be a great encourager and supporter of other women who can be. So anyway, with that, I got to jump off. Thank you all. Day 2. Melanie's I started it out. Melanie's going to take us out.
Yes.
Not take us out, but
I hope not take you out. Yes. But Shelley, have a great day. Keep us posted on all that you're doing, because it's really, really phenomenal.
Oh, and if you want to know more about generations in the workplace, I was interviewed for the Expert Talk series with Growth 10 out of Scottsdale, Arizona. And so I posted that up. I do a lot of work. I don't know about you, Melanie, but this is a big deal in the workforce right now with 5 generations in the workforce. How do you coach, you lead, you communicate? I mean, it was a fun time. It's almost an hour. I know it's kind of long, but if you want some more information, go listen to that too. Yes. All right, everybody. I will talk to you tomorrow with Melanie, and have an amazing day.
Have an amazing day. Have an amazing day. I'm going to close this out. There was some stuff on our morning. If you guys have followed me, the morning devotional that I've been leading for over 1,050 days now, I think it's just crazy. But yet we reference so many things just for leadership. And so there's a daily reader. It's the John Maxwell Daily Reader. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend it. I'm a person of faith. You do not have to be a person of faith to read this daily reader. It gives you confidence in sales and leadership and courage and just all the things that we think that, hey, are missing in our life. And today's we were studying. And so we read this and I thought, man, what a great lesson to bring into this group, because this is about servant leadership, as Shelley was just talking about. But here's the thing, right? Sometimes we have to give to others. We have to be able to see what we are doing as far as giving our gifts, because it's our gift. We're supposed to be giving that away. So I'm going to read to you August 17th, which is today's. And it says, do for others what they can't do for themselves. So leading teams, structuring teams, figuring out how to up level yourself and up level your game. This is just such a great highlight. So here we go. It says, ambassador and poet Henry Van Dyke observed, there is a loftier ambition than merely to stand high in the world. It is to stoop down and lift mankind a little higher. What a great perspective. Doing for others what they can't do for themselves is really a matter of attitude. I believe that whatever I've been given is to be shared with others. And because I have an abundance mindset, I never worry about running out myself. The more I give away, the more I seem to get to give away. No matter how much or how little you think you have the ability to do for others what they cannot do for themselves. Exactly how you do that will depend on your unique gifts, resources, and history. Nearly 25 years ago, Professor C. Peter Wenger of Fuller Seminary invited me to speak to an audience of pastors around the country about leadership. He put me on a national stage for the first time and gave me credibility that I didn't possess on my own. Few things are of greater value to a prepared person than an opportunity. Why? Because opportunities increase our potential. So the great orator of ancient Greece said, small opportunities are often the beginning of great enterprises. An opportunity seized is often a source of success. Help people win by giving them opportunities, and you will win with them. Don't you love that? So this is 25 ways to win with people. And it closes on saying, provide others with small opportunities to succeed, and then acknowledge and reward their success. What a great way to close this today. Just wanted to encourage you guys. This has been an amazing journey this last month to just help you understand what our vision is, what our journey is, to be able to say, hey, we want to up level and scale our businesses. We know that our businesses are booming, and we want to be able to share how that success has happened. We want to learn from you. We want to grow. We know that you want to grow. That's why you're here. So welcome to this group. Dive in all of these resources. We want to help you grow. We want to help you figure out, do you want to lead a team? Are you leading a team? Do you want to do it better, faster, stronger? Can you add value into this group? Can you up level and upscale the people that are in this group to have a bigger community? That's what we're all about. So I just wanted to, again, thank Shelley for putting this challenge together for these 4 days. And I am excited about offering you guys kind of the strategy behind, the questions that you ask, how to get into the right conversations, handling objections. We've done so much of those in our sales careers. And if that's something that you want more of, please put it down here underneath this video, and we will start collecting ideas on how to structure the right course for you. This is all about your growth. So we're here to serve you, just like this said, right? We can't do this without lifting you up. And that's what Shelley and it's our heart is. So Shelley, have a great day on your journey, and please keep us updated on all the great things that are happening. And you guys, listen, if you have successes to share, We have a social share Saturday. So if you haven't noticed that in the group, just a quick update and reminder, put that in the Saturday post. We want you to share your links, your business, your successes, things that are happening, but we want it pretty structured so we can find it in the group. So go to those socials, share Saturdays, and post your links under there. And if you have not already, please introduce yourself in the group. Do your introduction video and help us get to know you. This is all about sharing our ideas. You never know that one person that says, "Oh, I know someone you need to meet. I know that connection." Or, "I didn't know that you lived in my community. I didn't know that you had that type of connection." So that's what we want to spread. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for leaning in and putting your business and your dreams to the test. If you have not registered, last thing, if you have not registered for Put Your Dream to the Test, that mastermind is on Monday. It is in the Roundtable Club. It is in a separate group link with the Zoom link that is separate. The materials are in there. The video from last week are all inclusive to that group. So if you still want to join, you are not late. We have 6 full weeks. We have 5 more weeks to go, and we are just getting started on defining the dream and then really identifying what are those next steps to map that out. So it goes right in alignment with all of these goals and these worksheets. And again, we're excited to have you here. And thank you for joining us. And we will see you again here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern for day 3 of our business challenge. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.